And now, back to the Debbi Nigro Show.
We can work from home. Oh, oh. We can work from home. Oh, oh. I ain't worried about nothing.
Actually, we're worried about everything. But the way you worry about nothing is to distract yourself. And a lot of that distraction has been coming in the form of playing cards and board games, my friends. Hi, everybody. I'm Debbi Nigro. I always like to watch what's trending, and yoo-hoo, card games and board games are trending. I was looking into the industry, went over to Grandview Research, and they're reporting that playing cards are going to become a $7.18 billion industry by 2025, and board games up to about $13+ billion, because there are a rising number of board game cafes across the world. Who knew about this? Well, I know some people who know about not only that, but the card industry. Charlie Levin is the president of Shuffled Inc. Got to meet him along the way. He's doing something very cool. His son Matthew is taking what he did that was cool another step higher, as some sons and daughters do for their family business. So they're both going to join the show right now because they had this company, Shuffled Inc., that's been operating since 1999, produced millions of decks of custom playing cards, card and board games, and tarot and flashcards for not only companies around the world, but individuals too. So it's very cool. You could have your own playing cards branded with your name, your company. You could do it for weddings. You could make your own game board. It's too fabulous. You know, I always got a guy, right? Now I got two guys. Welcome, Charlie, and welcome, Matthew, to my show.
Good morning,
thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you're great. Now, I know it's hard because we're not looking at each other about who talks first. So, Charlie, first, hello. How did you become the card guy, the Shuffled Ink guy? And then we'll get to Matthew next.
Well, I had sold my marketing company at a young age in 1992, and I was able to spend all my time with my kids, taking care of them, being with them. And they began to outgrow me towards 1999, so I had to find something else to do, and playing cards just popped in my mind, and here we are 21 years later this Friday.
When you made your first deck of cards, how did that go? Explain.
The first deck was printed on a Kodak copy machine in Miami. We didn't have any equipment. I just started a sales and marketing program to promote the company, and had no equipment, knew nothing about manufacturing.
So I'm imagining you printing these things. Did you cut them by hand? How do you create playing cards out of a printing machine?
Our first samples were cut and laminated by hand.
I knew it.
Mostly by my children.
Oh my gosh, I love this story. Now, were you obviously
on the
there?
kitchen table where we started.
That's so funny. Matthew, do you remember that or don't remember that growing up?
No, I vividly remember. I remember these things printing out of this little, commercial office printer and thinking, is this actually what this company is going to be? And I didn't really have high hopes for it, even at a young age. Printing out flimsy, creased, photo paper. But the idea behind the deck of cards was and I think continues to be very true, in that it's something that kind of brings families together. And I think that's really what the inspiration was for this, not only as a valuable marketing and branding tool, but really the idea behind it in our company is all of the products that we make, bring people and families and friends together. And it's a product that, typically is associated with, fun and a good time.
Yeah, it's great. I grew up in a card-playing family. Of course, they all played poker, which I was just use that as an excuse to go out and have fun when they were distracted. But right now in the world, families are kind of stuck with each other. And Bob, my engineer, was talking earlier about a memory he had about playing a board game with his father, a card game. And it's a really interesting time in the world to use cards and board games to connect with family and kids and grandkids. So I know the business is booming. Is that what's going on, Charlie?
It's really been booming since we started, but this year in particular, contrary to what's going on in our world, it's exploded.
Wow.
And there are, major reasons for that. We do a lot of our volume production out of China, where we actually started early on doing a lot of business. and the goal was to eventually grow so that we could manufacture here and do less and less in China, more in Orlando. So in the beginning, it was like 90% China. Now it's 90% Orlando.
Yeah, that makes for a quick turnaround if somebody has an idea. Would you even be able to do cards by Christmas if somebody wanted to come up with like a family deck of playing cards with everybody's pictures? Could you do something like that? Or is that crazy?
Our production line's pretty full right now, but we still can do it. We've delivered 500 deck orders from Orlando to Las Vegas in the same day.
Oh, you're good. You guys are good. Matthew, I know you've taken your father's vision, which you originally thought he was nuts, to a new level of success. Your father was
still do
very
in some respects, but in all the good ways.
Oh, it's great. Oh, you still think he's nuts? Yeah. That's what kids always think their parents are nuts until they become the parent and then they go, oh, wow, I'm nuts. So tell me what you've done as the next generation to, add your vision. What's your thing?
I think this is really, really twofold. First is my dad is extremely experienced and has his skill set really is sales, marketing, entrepreneurship. So before I really became involved with the company on a day-to-day basis, he really grew this thing, I think, and surpassed a lot of the expectations that even he may have had, to a point where our scale was becoming, given the infrastructure that we had and the team that we had, very difficult to manage and keep efficient in a lot of ways. So I think me coming in and supplementing and working with him allowed him to focus his time and efforts on what he is best at, which is, the marketing and sales side of our company. And I've really taken over, the management operations and instituted a lot of, quality controls and procedures that have made us, significantly more efficient from a production perspective, but also really just, reallocating resources to where they're best suited to be used.
Wow.
So our company, has just become massively more efficient.
Charlie, you gave birth to a genius who's helping you have peace in your life. That is a gift.
I gave birth to 5 geniuses.
Oh, good for you. Wow. I'm looking at some of the brands you've done. This is important for people to know because you deal with somebody who has a wedding coming up. I see, Kara and Randy's wedding cards to, Mike's Hard Lemonade and Ben & Jerry's and liquor companies, and you have tarot cards and games. What, is this a good branding idea for anybody right now with their company to give out to other people? I think yes.
It's perfect for any business, because it's a vehicle that people don't throw away or discard and actually use for many years. Yeah. So your brand, your message is constantly in front of people, even if it's just sitting in their kitchen drawer for a year untouched. They still see it and eventually use it.
I have playing cards. Funny you know about the kitchen drawer. You must have peeked in mine. I have a whole bunch of playing cards. I would always collect playing cards when I traveled from different places, or like a zoo, or St. Louis and Texas. I have all the playing cards lined up in my kitchen drawer. You too?
Yep.
You too, Matthew?
I try to keep my house clean of playing cards because by the time I get home, I don't want to look at them for a while.
I know. It's like you can't look, it's like any business. You can't look at it after a while. I can't even talk to myself at the end of the day. I can't. How do you hide me from me? I got a bigger problem than you.
No, we have a whole Christmas themed display of playing cards on a shelf in my house, so they're always there. That's
really funny. So, okay, people can do this. Just quickly tell me about the Kickstarter thing. I read that millions of dollars are being raised with people who have ideas for playing board games and stuff. If you have a sample to put on Kickstarter, does that you help people get going with that and create their samples?
Well, our clients, they initiate the Kickstarter programs with the products they're selling and designing. And, of course, we do support them with graphics and art and layout so that they can accomplish that.
Awesome.
Also, in answer to a prior question, a huge part of this year's increase is that China's capacity to produce is down about 65%, contrary to what you might hear on the news. And a lot of customers could not get product. And so they sought to stay in the U.S., and a couple of the major players were closed because of the virus, and we've had a windfall from that. And plus our pricing, quality, personal live service, is gaining a lot of traction.
Just because you have a live service, I will tell you people should call you, because to get a human on the phone for any business these days is enough to put you into carb overload. It's horrible, right?
Yes,
Personal.
and that was one of the key factors in my thinking of creating this business, is to provide live, genuine, caring customer service, free graphic support for people to help design their cards, very competitive pricing, and top quality.
I've heard from many that you're one of the nicest guys in business, just for the record. And so, Matthew, you should obviously know that about your dad. And I'm happy to meet you guys. I just want to point out that Shuffled Inc. encourages...
Matt trained me well.
Who trained you well?
Matt has trained me well.
Yeah, you better take care of Matt. He's doing some big action for you down there. Shuffled Inc., ladies and gentlemen, encourages you to request complimentary samples, which I thought is really cool, so you can touch and feel the quality if you have an idea to have a deck of playing cards for your brand or for yourself or for whatever. And you just send the request in at their your website, and include your delivery address and contact phone number. Is that it?
Yeah, and we'll send you pricing, free samples, talk to you on the phone anytime, and take care of you.
Very cool. Can I ask a quick question? Like the Mike's Hard Lemonade, they did those branded cards, and where do they distribute them?
Those were for trade shows that they had, but of course that part of our business this year is almost vanished.
Yeah.
But all the other aspects have increased dramatically.
One I'm looking at right now gives me, I think it's a great idea. All these restaurants struggling, trying to just stay in business with takeout. Sonny's Barbecue has its own playing cards. Takeout restaurants with menus on playing cards, that would be so cool.
Yup.
Right? You could put anything on the cards? Anything?
Anything you like, as long as it's not too offensive.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. I'm thinking grandparents could have all their, with all these people with pictures in their phones. Could you have, somebody sends you, 52 pictures, and you make the cards individual, 52 pictures?
Correct.
We actually just had a client who
standard
sent
faces or 54 different faces.
Wow.
We just had a client
54
who sent us a photo album of 1,000 family pictures and just made as many different decks as they could with all of their family photos on the front. It was actually a pretty cool scrapbooking and collage project, but any pictures or content that you want front and back, whatever number of cards, it's not just standard playing cards. You could have any card count in your set.
Wow, I love this idea. Terrific. I'm so glad you guys are rocking Made in America as something, passionate to me, and many people now, of course, want to support everybody here in the U.S. who are working hard and doing great for the world. So you guys just keep going, and I can't wait to make my own deck of cards. I'll think about what I'm going to do with that, and then I'll showcase them and have some fun. Fun is good.
Great.
That'd be great.
Deb, our tarot cards and also flash educational cards have also been huge this year, I think, incited by the virus as well.
Yeah, flashcards and playing cards. I just want to say one thing I want to point out about your site, which I thought was a nice offer. You told people if they create their own branded cards, they can showcase them on your platform. We only have about 30 seconds, but somebody answer that, Matthew.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have a game or a product that you're trying to sell, particularly helpful for people that are in the early stages that may not have the resources or wherewithal to develop their own e-commerce platform, we will work with you to sell your product through our site, so the people that you want to reach out to and market to, you can direct them straight to there, and we help take care of the e-commerce function for you.
Wow, you people
as
are
well
really
as the
nice.
fulfillment, shipping, etc.
Okay, we can't talk about it anymore, but you guys are awesome. You guys, shuffledinc.com is where you want to go. And thank you, Charlie, so much, and Matthew so much. Appreciate having you both on the show. Have a great day.
Thank you,
Thank
Deb.
you, Debbi.
Happy
Take care.
holidays. Be
You
healthy.
too. Oh, you too. Shuffled Inc. They're ready to go all in with you. These people are all in. Come on back.